the best part of a year now, the West has been sending military equipment to Ukraine, from small arms to main battle tanks. But stocks are running lower, countries like the US starting to pledge artillery systems that haven't even been built, and with fear Moscow's gearing up for a spring offensive, some believe this war's far from over.
It's not sustainable. They've all got different kinds of weapon systems, different supply chains, procurement programs, and it's not a long-term solution.
In response, Tobias Ellwood wants to see a Western-funded, Ukrainian-run armament factory in eastern Poland, close enough to sustain the defending nation's war machine over a shared border. This sort of complex would usually be a prime target for Russian strikes, but this one would be on Nato territory, so attacking it would risk unimaginable repercussions for Moscow.
You ask where this idea came from. I visited Taiwan, and guess where they are building a microchip factory over in Arizona in the United States, just in case China intends to do something silly over there. So it's the same concept applying to weapon systems and equipment, but for Ukraine. Then they can start procuring for the long term.
The facility would be on the other side of Ukraine to Russia and most of the fighting so far, so would rely on its rail system remaining intact to get vehicles, weapons or ammunition across that vast space. The idea, though still in its infancy, has been received well so far, but is long-term thinking too much of a luxury for the Ukrainians, and can't the West just invest more in existing factories further afield, especially since the war could be over by the time this one's built?
The threat from Russia will continue way beyond the next 5 to 10 years, the next decade. Look what happened back in 2008. Russia pushed into Georgia, and then we all condemned it. Everything calmed down, and then a couple of years later, they pushed into eastern Ukraine. They pushed into the Donbass, the Crimea. Each couple of years, they tried all again. So that's why you need something which is bespoke for Ukraine, not miles away, but there for them to operate and them to run, which is convenient, which is practical, and which is theirs.
Mr. Ellwood, like many, fears continued support to Ukrainian defence in its immediate form will degrade the security of the nations sending equipment. He wouldn't estimate how long a factory like this might take to build, but has an idea on how it could be financed and what the next steps might be in making this vision a reality.
There are many countries that don't want to gift military equipment per se, but are absolutely happy to provide funding, to support Ukraine. Everybody likes the concept, the idea. What it needs to be is confirmed. We need the United States to get behind it, Germany and other countries. There's the Munich Security Conference, which is about to take place in the next couple of weeks. And that's a massive opportunity to bring the necessary heads around the table, particularly the Polish, because they're the ones that I think need to lead on this. President Zelensky should have put it on the top of his shopping list. When a war effort is turned on, when the machine starts to really move forward, you can produce things in very rapid rate of knots if you want to.
Tom Sables, Forces News. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.